Hi, I'm JOGB and this is Jo on the Go.
Today I'm with Katie Light, holistic therapist and my wonderful Reiki teacher.
I'm here with the fabulous Katie Light, who is a mind and body coach. What does she not do? She has wonderful rooms down in Brighton, and she also can be found at the Sanderson Hotel and in little sort of spa rooms in Beecham Place. And so she's very much on the go, and she's here today just to talk a little bit about how to find peace, calm and happiness.
Yes.
For crying out loud, we need it.
We need to be reminded.
We need to be reminded, yes. So describe what the light technique actually is.
The light technique is about treating body, mind and emotions, reconnecting all of those things, everything in communication with everything. And it's using a combination of therapies, so massage, a range of massage, aromatherapy, reflexology, deep tissue, everything, face, body, and then Reiki, and then also NLP. So the light technique is my name,
Yes.
and I came up with the light technique because it was very difficult to categorize everything, and I didn't want it to be like individual, like you either have a massage or you have a Reiki. I wanted it to be all about that person.
Yes,
So,
yes, that makes sense.
You know, that person, everybody is different, everybody's going to need different things. So it's about me and my technique of really listening really hard to what is going on to the person when they come in, like what they're saying, but also what they're not saying. So I can look at the body, I can see where it is out of alignment potentially, and then be able to give my recommendations accordingly, and then put together a very individual treatment from that. But you do feel light afterwards, you do feel like lifted, but also a lot of the technique I do is not light work, as in the massage. Yes, the Reiki's light work, but the massage is, you know, can be deep, or you know, whatever pressure I think is relevant.
Marvellous spirit, marvellous soul, marvellous lady.
Oh, thank you. And the same for the face too. You know, I apply all of that to facials as well.
Because I think everybody's searching for something these days, aren't they? So why do you think we are all in such imbalance with ourselves, so disconnected with ourselves?
Because we're too busy, we're not being present, we're not listening, and there's so much that we're not listening to other people because we're too busy walking around like this on our phones,
knocking people over, and
and walking into people, and you know, or we're on our laptop, or we're on social media. So we're not present enough, and nobody's being heard. And actually, the majority of my clients that come to see me is down to the fact that they want to be heard, and they're like, oh, when I start talking to them and I feed back to them, they're like, oh, that's what it is. Oh, that's what I've not been doing.
Such as, explain.
You know, they come in and I'm talking them through and feeding back to them what's going on for them. So say, for example, okay, so you're not communicating in the right way. You're feeling angry because you're not being heard. What are you not saying? I think you could say this, or you could work like this. And they're like, oh, you know what, if I did do that, the feedback to me is I wouldn't be angry because I'm being heard. So my clients, you know, in a situation, for example, they were going through and doing a consultation, you know, if they explain themselves properly to their client and they foresee what that is going to be like, then they're being heard, they're being respected, and they're not feeling angry. So sometimes it's about talking it out because it all then makes sense, or the reason why they might be stuck. And I think the majority of people, I get a lot of people coming to see me who are stuck and trapped, which then makes them feel really anxious, which then is the cause for their problem. So once you've broken it all down and figured out why you're in that trapped space, and then what you need to do about it, then the world is your oyster.
So, so energy healing as a whole. How do you find people are receptive to that generally? Do they sort of get it, or
I think they're getting
more?
I think they're looking for it more. I think they get it a lot more than they used to get it. And I think energy is in everything. It's in people, it's in situations, it's life universal energy that we deal with. It's like you can walk into a room and you can tell, like you were just saying, you know, if you walk in and you've got, you know, you've walked into a very uncomfortable situation.
I'm back straight out these days.
Yeah. And you know, don't you? You just walk in and you go, oh, what's going on here? You know, somebody's like out of alignment, somebody's really angry, and then that affects everybody else.
Totally.
So we are always going to be slightly out of alignment, you know, because of our work, because of people who we're around. Are we surrounding ourselves with like-minded, positive people? Are we having to go to work and hate our jobs because it's you know, it's an uncomfortable environment to be in?
Yeah.
I mean, they're just small things. Or has something happened to us in our life that we are still trying to deal with, trying to remove ourselves from, that keeps reoccurring?
Right.
And then you could shift that with energy work and with visualization and with a toolbox of things that can go, right, I need to start doing that, stop doing that, and I need to realign and cleanse my system.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It does sound like a lot of work, but
over to you.
It's also, you can do that in a treatment, but for me, when I'm treating, it's very much about, okay, so I can do this, but if we're going to do this and you're going to invest your time and your money with me, then you need to do all of these things too. Like, you need to start doing this every day. You need to stop doing this. You need to bring this into your life. You know, it's about the investment from that person, because if you don't have that agreement and want to do that, then what's the point? I mean, you will see a difference, but you won't see a difference like you would if you then turn around and said, right, actually, yeah, I'm going to start doing mindfulness. I'm going to start meditating. I'm going to start breathing and spending time doing that. But tiny things, like 5 minutes out of your day.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to sit down at home and write a list of all the things I want and don't want. You know, if you're not prepared to do that, then you're not going to see the best results possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want people to come in and go, yeah, actually, that's what I want to achieve, and yes, I'm willing to invest.
Yeah. So what's the most common things that you think people are not doing that they should be doing? That kind of like, almost like on your checklist in your head, they should be doing this. This is these
breathing properly.
Oh yeah.
I think we are all guilty of that.
Yeah.
We're never taught to breathe properly. Unless you do yoga or meditation, you're not really taught how to breathe. So I try and instill in people, like, to take 10 deep breaths from the tummy, you know, at night, like, get them into a nice restful place, focus on the breath, focus on counting, and then you're going to have much more of a peaceful night's sleep anyway, but also that's going to then become unconscious and you're going to start doing that on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So breath work, definitely. Switching off from social media, and I know which I know is difficult, but when I say switching off, I think you need to give yourself
a window.
Yeah, windows of time of like maybe a couple of hours in the morning or a couple of hours in the afternoon and then a couple of hours in the evening. But so yeah, breath work and meditation if possible, you know, even if it's 5 minutes.
That makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
I mean, I've learned
just
from
to clear,
you.
just to clear your mind, but also just being present and being mindful, which when you're not on social media, you are more present. When you're not looking at your phone walking down the street, you are more present. You're looking up, you know, you're looking around you, you're being in the moment. And we just do not spend enough time. And then we get the fracture between the body and the mind.
So explain the chakras, why they matter.
Okay, so the chakras, we have 7. We have our base chakra, which is between the hips, the sacral chakra, which is lower tummy, going through to the sacrum in the back. Then we have solar plexus, which is our middle chakra, between the ribs. Heart chakra, obviously in the heart, throat, and third eye and top chakra. So they all have different functions and relate to different emotions. And if we've got, energy gets trapped. So our chakras spin like wheels. So they're supposed to be spinning like this. And depending on how we are made up in ourselves, those chakras can get affected, and those chakras can get clogged, and they just go backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. So that then doesn't run into the next chakra or the next chakra if that's blocked. So then we are not in the right state that we should be. So we're not balanced, we're not aligned, we're getting stuck, the same things keep happening all the time, or we've got, energy that's not flowing to that part of the body, which then affects all the organs around it as well. So that affects us physically. If it's emotion that, for example, if you've lost somebody in your life, or you're dealing with grief, or you're going to be generally affected in the heart area, in the heart chakra, and not maybe you're suppressing that emotion or those feelings, and then you're then coming over to protect your heart, which is then going to affect your shoulders and affect your back because you're leaning forward. Then your breathing's then affected. So emotionally, we need to rebalance and realign the chakras so that our body is open, and we're not getting physical complaints and everything from that, which it all links up. But people just see it as it's not the cause, it's the problem. So the problem is I'm physically arched over and my shoulders are hunched up and I'm having problems breathing. But they're not thinking about how that's happened. Where's that cause? What's that coming from? And let's treat the emotion and the whole person, not just the physical problem.
Sit up, Joe.
But that's the chakra system, and we run through the chakras every year. So it goes in a 7-year cycle. Because we've got 7 chakras. So you run through those chakras, but just to make it a little bit complicated, you also stay in one chakra for 7 years. So
my math is now completely
so you have to build on that. That chakra is going to be more relevant to what's going on in your life, as well as the physical ailments of whatever you're trying to deal with.
How did you first find that you had this incredible intuitive?
I suppose maybe 20 years ago. I think it's probably due to a number of things, like feedback from people saying, wow, that you know exactly where to go. You don't you don't just do 3 of these and 6 of these and whatever. How do you go to that place straight away? And I was asked this question once and said, how do you do what you do? And I was like, I don't even know how I do it. And then I just put my hands on someone's body and went straight there. And I went, I'm scanning, I'm feeling, I'm curious to help somebody. So it is about the touch. And I think getting ill, having health issues, and then finding that I had to really listen to myself and hear myself and hear my body and pay attention made me more intuitive, because it made me listen and feel. And then being able to do that for myself, I can then do that for other people.
I completely see that, because having done Reiki therapy with you, because of my own MS, it for sure has made me feel more in tune with my own body, and to listen to myself more, and to appreciate that, working through the night wasn't a good idea, Joe. Why I actually need
Yeah.
anything to tell me that. It's like bizarre.
But we all do need something
Yes.
like that, don't we? We all need some form of shock or something to happen for us to be smacked in the face and wake up and go, all right.
Yeah. So what was it in particular that that affected you when you were younger, that sort of led you on this journey?
I think when I was 28, I got diagnosed diabetic type 1, which happened really quickly over 2 weeks.
Right.
And I had to go into hospital. It was quite severe. But it was a bit of a wake-up call, I think, for me. Not that I knew it at the time. I was like, why me? Why me? Why has this happened to me?
Yeah.
And I was in denial for quite a long time. But then it started to make me listen to my body and what my body was telling me, and how I felt physically, how I felt emotionally, how I felt about my emotions of what this was doing to me.
Yeah.
And then I went to have Reiki when I was visiting South Africa. And it was the only, I mean, I couldn't believe it. I was like blown away by this treatment. And I'd been wanting to do it, but I just hadn't found time to do it. And it was the only thing that took my blood sugars down without me having to do anything. They just dropped completely to normal, you know, and I was like, wow, so this isn't just a physical thing, this is an emotional thing, you know, as it affects us and our bodies. And then that was it. And then I got into, you know, learning how to do with Reiki, and then, you know, now I'm master teacher, so, but it's taught me a lot about listening to myself and being intuitive and having that intuition and going with my gut feeling and not being not questioning it, just going, actually this works for.
Can anybody train to become Reiki healer?
Anybody can train to do Reiki.
Just doesn't mean they're necessarily brilliant at it.
Well, it all comes down to intention.
Sure.
You know, if you've got the right intention and you want to help that person and you want to be the vessel, if you like, for energy and Reiki healing, then and you do it with love, then that's when you're going to see the results.
Always with love. Everything centers around love, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. That's what, you know, that's what we are made of. This is what the universe is. It's about love, but it's also about understanding that, seeing that, knowing that, and using it in the right way.
Yes. What can I say? Thank you, Katie. Always a joy.
Thank you.
I think I need to move to Brighton. Or into the Sanderson. That'll be nicely.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Hope you enjoyed Joe on the Go, and thank you for watching. Please like, follow, subscribe to my various channels on Instagram, YouTube, and do check out my lifestyle wellness blog, Living It Up, on jogbliving.com.